Do strip clubs disempower women?
Do strip clubs disempower women? Now, this is a really interesting story which broke this week. Around 100 dancers in Edinburgh have been left facing unemployment after the council used new powers to shut down all 4 strip clubs in the Scottish capital. And in protest, the United Sex Workers Organisation has raised £20,000 to fight the decision under equality laws. But Mandy Watt, deputy leader of the Labour-run Council of Edinburgh Council, says the adult venues can remain open so long as the women dance with their clothes on. So she said, this is a quote, she said, "I understand concerns about people losing jobs, but the venues could apply to stay open. All they need to do is not insist on women dancing naked. They don't need to do that to operate." But if they do that, it's more just, that's artistic appreciation of dance. It's more choreography than stripping, isn't it?
Yes, it's suddenly high art. Yeah, there's another quote from Mandy Watt. She says, "I believe the ban was the right decision because these clubs disempower women. They're not helpful for the view society has of women and their place in the world. I want to see women being treated with respect." So it's quite similar to the darts girls, if you remember that, except they weren't stripping, but they were girls who dressed up nicely near the darts, and they were told by middle-class feminists, you can't do that, even though they were just using their asset, which was physical beauty, to make a living, which I thought was probably fine. My problem with this is, it's middle-class feminists telling women how to behave. I would be fine with it if it was done from a Christian perspective, in a Christian culture, in my Christian theocracy that we're going to have. But my problem with it, you see, is that it's coming from leftists without a coherent moral philosophy. Thus, you get the absurdity of, we'll let the women dance, but they can wear their clothes because they don't know what to do. They don't know what their moral philosophy is. It's middle-class feminists saying, you can't do that, we don't like it, but we don't really understand why.
But the thing is, it's not sex work, is it? I mean, the whole thing about prostitution and sex work, that's a different argument, and there's a very complicated, loads of different views on that, and I think that's a more complicated issue. But this is dancing, but the women are choosing to do a job where they get naked, right?
No, and in this society, in this fallen culture that we have, I say they should be allowed to do it because the reasons that they're being banned are completely pointless and stupid.
What about freedom of choice?
Well, yeah, in an actual... I'm saying if it was done from sort of... If we were in a sort of moral society that did it based on that, but what we are is in a completely degraded society that's doing it purely to stop them making a living. So I disagree with it. But you're saying it's not sex work. It's interesting. Someone who was criticising Mandy Watt said... that she called them the SWERFs, the sex worker exclusionary radical feminists.
Yes, I've heard
There's
that.
now SWERFs.
I know, I've heard
that
SWERFs.
was a thing.
Yes.
OK.
What do you think about this, Lewis? Do you think dancing naked qualifies as sex work? I mean, there are Chippendales who do this. There are male strippers who dance naked.
I think they brought it on themselves by calling themselves dancers. I mean, they're not really dancers. They're just... If they call themselves nudists, then the case could be made that you can't...
That's a different thing, though. A nudist is someone who wants to get back to nature.
Well, not necessarily. Can be indoor nudists.
Indoor nudists.
Indoor nudists.
But would you dance naked for money? I'm not asking you to do it now, by the way.
Yeah. I would be honoured if someone asked me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's a difficult... I mean, the kind of more... the liberal person in me says people should be able to decide what they do with their own bodies and what they do.
I was surprised that Labour has any seats in Scotland.
It is a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it is. I mean,
Were
they were
you
completely...
surprised at that?
Yeah, in fact, I thought Edinburgh was SNP for some reason.
Yeah.
Can I just say, don't you have this book about the new Puritans? I mean, this is where leftism comes full circle and becomes Puritanism.
Yeah.
And that's what's fascinating about it. But like I say, but without the cultural heritage, without the melioristic element of Christianity. So it's just a kind of incoherent Puritanism.
What word did you use?
I said
melioristic.
I said melioristic, meaning a tendency to improve. Humans can improve the world.
To ameliorate is to
No,
improve.
melior with an M.
Yeah, no, but,
melioristic.
Yes, but to ameliorate is the verb.
Oh, OK. Sorry. And just got schooled by Dr. Doyle.
That's me.